Welcome to Nothing is Obi South Texas Golf Podcast on another special night. Brucey, who's playing tonight? Who's playing right now? Who's playing right now?
The boys, baby, the boys.
The Cowboys are playing right now. So we're super appreciative of anybody tuning in tonight. But don't forget, you can catch this at any time, all right? Once it's on the internet, Brucey, is it ever off?
It's there forever, bro.
It's there forever.
It's like your OnlyFans.
Hey, you know what? I've never been on there. I'm scared. I'm afraid.
As a client or as a...
Not only a client, I'm also the president. Hey guys, don't forget guys, FOREBROS Tour Never Golf Alone Again is the presenting sponsor. Super thanks to our FOREBROS, our sweet lids, courtesy of Oakberry Golf Apparel. Dude, hey, how clean is this, bro? Hey, fastest selling Oakberry and FOREBROS hat. Dude, we're done. We have no more.
I'm telling you, bro, dude, everybody's hitting me up. I'm like, bro, you gotta get it when, like, as soon as you put it on, hey guys, start getting it, bro. Like, and then second of all, I give them like the website and your code sold out, bro. And I'm like, bro, like, sorry, man. Like, hey, good things come to those who wait, but not to those who wait too late.
I hate those who wait too late. All right, guys, let's do a little intro to the show here, baby.
Let's do it.
This Fairway Ed from Corpus Christi, Texas. Oh, you're listening to Nothing is OB.
Man, this game is crazy. You know, you come out here 1 week, you look like a major champion. The next week, you look like a 25 handicapper from Crabapple, North Dakota.
Right there, my Alice boys. Let's go.
3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2, 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woo-hoo, new driver, info, replace, M2, par 5,
have a banger for you.
Think I'll try to get on into, stop right, good line, good view, hit Drew, shoot him McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high and 2 fingers pointed at you, pew pew, fairway to green, conk off that I'm playing, sometimes these par 3 green look like an island, I'm plunging and keep it on dry land, at least I'm at.
Guys, welcome to Nothing is Obi South Texas Golf Podcast. We have a banger of a show for you. Episode 207. One of the GOATs in the golf instruction game, Bryan Gathright, will be on the show tonight. It's been a long time coming. I don't want to bring up originally why we didn't have him on the show when he was scheduled originally. It's going to open up some scars and some wounds with him. I don't want to do that. But before this show kicks off, I want to take a moment of silence and dedicate this show to one of our FOREBROS, one of our brothers, John Nuno Ayala. He passed away this past Thanksgiving, and dedicate episode 207 to our guy. Let's have a good one for Nuno, boy.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. So let's kick things off right here. Coach has been waiting. We had some technical difficulties. As always, right, Brucey? As always.
He's in the green room right now.
He's in the green room rating. All right. Let's bring him on. One of the best golf instructors out there. One of the best of the best. Right here, we got Coach Bryan. Look at him. He's looking at golf clubs. He's looking at golf clubs right now. We got Coach Bryan Gathright on the show tonight. Coach, thank you so much for being on the Nothing is OB South Texas Golf Podcast tonight.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it and looking forward to it.
Bryan, it feels weird calling you Bryan. You're one of the best. I see you out there on the course. You're always lurking around, always supporting your students. Again, you know what? I got to call you Coach. I'm sorry if that's all right. If I call you Coach.
I'd prefer it. That's awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Well, for those of y'all out there, my name's Andy Torres. Brucey, I'd love for you to introduce yourself out here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my name is Arnold Brucey Garcia. I am the king of the sea flight for FOREBROS. Coach, I've heard a lot about you. I've never seen you in action, but I think if you can fix my game, you are the GOAT. right, Andy?
Well, you've got to get up. You've got to get up and give me a chance. Then I'd love to have the opportunity.
So right here, guys, we have one of the best golf instructors out here, not only in Texas but also. You're a heck of a person, Coach. Yeah, I got some quotes right here. I wanted to start off with a quote right here from it's a former student now. Anyone who's had the privilege of being coached by Bryan knows the impact he leaves on your life. He coached me for over 10 years, becoming the person who made me feel the most comfortable, the most understood, and the most myself. There's something rare about a coach who doesn't just teach you a sport, but truly gets you. And Bryan has always been that for me. He was the one who truly believed in me, even when moments when I didn't believe in myself. And even though I no longer play full time, that's been one of the hardest things to accept. Because when someone pours into you like that, it leaves spaces only they could ever fill. But the belief he had in me and the impact he made will stay with me forever. Cameron Carrion.
Damn, that's deep.
You know it. You kind of caught me off guard with that one, and I'll tell you this. That's one of the kindest things I've ever heard in my life, and I want you to send me that. I'd love to have that. I've got a special place for that I'd like to put that. Wow, and what a special player she is, and I'm not about to say was. She's always going to be a great player, and someone that wasn't tall in stature, but I can tell you she was huge in heart and played the game at such a high level, and she's going to do great things. I've got tears in my eyes. It's just one of those things that Cam's always been one of my favorite and always one of my just you can't help but love spending time with her. She's so vivacious, such a great smile, so charismatic, and inside it, just an absolute assassin on the golf course by heart, because that girl loved to compete and loved to win when she was playing full time. But I hope she's still playing golf, and if she's listening to this or hearing this, she better come by and see me and just say hi sometime. She doesn't need to take a lesson, needs to come by and say hi, and we need to keep in touch, and I'll reach out to her after we get off tonight.
Oh man, Coach, I'm telling you, right? So I said, Cameron, I said I'm gonna have Coach Gathright on the show tonight, and she said, you know what? I wanted to film this. She's like, but she said I couldn't. she said I couldn't, and so I watched her for as long as you probably coached her. You know, being a coach in the Catholic school system for 20 something years, and so. Man, I must have read it at a glance because it didn't hit me. It's like as I was reading it, I had to keep it all together.
I don't know how you read it, and I appreciate you letting me get composed a little bit. But the funny part is, this is it is such an honor to have had the privilege to guide Kim and such a part of our family. I mean, I look at all my players. I tell people all the time, if you're looking for a golf lesson, I'm probably not the right person for you. I want to build a relationship with my players. I'm an old school coach. I expect a lot out of them. I don't mind getting in their grill a little bit when they need it, and I don't mind patting them on the back and giving them a hug when they need it. But she's always been one of my favorite, and will always be. And wow, I'm sorry that one caught me, and I'm honored. That's as nice a thing as a coach could ever have a player say, and I genuinely appreciate that with all my heart.
Hey, nothing is OB on this show, Brucey, and we started off with a banger right there.
I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting to cry when we started this.
Well, Bryan, once again, Coach, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. 45 years in the professional golf game. Now, after we've composed ourselves, why don't you kind of take us down a trip down memory lane for some people? Because a lot of times we, in this social media world that we live in today, YouTube society, all we kind of see is just your name attached, a picture out there, and you know what? Brucey had to. He looked you up, and you know what? I looked you up too. I said, "Man, I gotta." We're over here. We're on the Google machine right now, and you know what?
Yeah.
And we see so much great things out there. And I think what Cameron said right there is a lot of things that aren't said and that you have to read in between the lines. So if you could kind of take us just kind of through your journey, you don't have to take us. I don't think we have that much tape and that much roll, but you know what? If you could kind of just take us how we got to in wanting to get into the golf instructing.
So I'm going to give you the real fast cliff notes, and there's a reason for this. I grew up with parents. What I was looking at when it started, and this wasn't planned. You asked me, when you asked me to be on, how I got started and everything. And I'm going to hold this up because you're not going to believe this. This just happened to be, I'm upstairs in my game room because everything's a disaster downstairs right now with the remodel going on. And we've got stuff piled everywhere. But just where I sat down at the table, this is actually where it all started. My mother made me this golf bag, and that's my first putter right there. It's a finalist. It's not one that you guys have probably ever heard or ever seen. But I had a 3-wood, a 4-iron, a 6-iron, an 8-iron, and let's see, and a putter. And it started in a real small town of Teague, Texas. And I'm not going to take you back all the years of my life, but I want to share something. One of my best friends growing up was a gentleman named Dale Morgan. And Andy, you'll probably recognize his name. I don't know, Brucey, I don't know you, but Dale was the only person named, not named Penick, since 1927 until he retired recently to be director of golf at Austin Country Club, head golf professional director of golf. He took over for Tinsley Penick after Harvey retired, and Dale and I grew up together and playing a 9-hole golf course in Teague, Texas, between Teague and Fairfield. It's east of Waco, about 55 miles, 2 towns of less than 3,000 people. And they built a 9-hole golf course when we were 6, 7 years old, and we learned to play there. And to make it just a crazy, unbelievable story, Dale replaced Harvey Penick's son Tinsley at Austin Country Club, and I started and ran Harvey Penick's golf schools. And
Wow.
I mean, if you could go
It was a great moment right there, Brucey, I felt.
the odds of that, I mean, I ought to be buying lotto tickets, I can tell you. So I got my real break. I played professionally for 5 years, played 40 plus states and like 19 countries, played the Asian tour for a year. Marginal success. I figured out that I probably had better to get something else, and I was fortunate. I went to work for a company called Landmark at Oak Tree Golf Club, and I really didn't teach much there. We didn't give lessons much at Oak Tree. We played golf with the members. Uh, Quite frankly, it was an all men's club. We played golf with the members for money. That was kind of what what our job was. It's one of the great jobs I've ever had. We played 4 or 5 days a week with the members. Great membership, great golf course. Hosted the PGA Championship there in 1988, and then they transferred me to PGA West to the private courses, and that's really where I started teaching. And in a real fast roundabout way, I taught a lot as an assistant pro there. One of the members actually hired me to start a huge junior golf program and charity tournament in Aspen, Colorado that I'm proud to say I grew into 500 and
Dude, that's a lot, dude. He's PJ West, Brucey? PJ West?
Bro, that's crazy. I'm just listening and I'm just like, bro, in awe, bro. Since
Hopefully.
81, he said. Since he went professional in 81.
I know, man. He's kind of breaking up over here, man. We're hoping we can get him back on here. Get him on here and get him on here right. Let's see. There's always technical difficulties, Brucey, right? We're always
I'm telling
dealing
him, bro. You gotta tell people you can't have cricket, bro.
we're always dealing with
You can't have that what is that other one from AT&T?
I'm gonna tell him right here. I'm gonna tell
Oh
him.
my gosh, yeah.
I'm gonna text him right here. Brucey's we're having the show while the Cowboys are playing, so we're trying to.
I know, bro.
Let's see. There you go, right there. Okay, I kicked him off. Hopefully he'll hop back on right here. I'll text him right now. So right here. Okay,
Bro,
did you like how we started? Do you like how we started it off though? Do you like how we started?
bro, did you say the bag, bro? Like you said, his mom made that bag. I'm like, dang, man. I know my mom can make some stuff, but I don't know if she can make me a golf bag, bro. That's crazy, bro. But no, man, like, dude, like, seriously, I think you started off, like, with, like, that. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a parent, dude, so I don't know how to speak from a parent, but I am a son. But my mom's always said, and this is what I was, when you were reading Cameron's post, like,
what I was getting at from my mom was always like, Mijo, you can never repay me. Like, there's nothing you can do, nothing you can buy me. She's like, I get my satisfaction when people come up to me and tell me like, hey, are you Arnold's son? And they talk good about you. So as a coach, I can imagine that's the same, bro. As a coach, like let's just say you, right? Your kids come back to you and they just speak highly of you, like, hey man, it wasn't for my middle school coach, I wouldn't be playing varsity football. And like you're like, you know what, man, like thank you, like thanks.
But
Like,
okay,
I don't know, like am I
okay,
along the lines? That's what I think.
so you know what? I'm telling you. Remember, you know what, Brucey? We've been around a lot of golfers.
Right.
We, you know, golf is a very selfish sport. You know, it's a solo gig.
Yeah.
They're very arrogant. They're very, you know, confident, cocky, right? And
Right.
and so you know what? They carry themselves a different way, right? You know, they're jerks. You know, they can be jerks, right? And we've been to those pro shops where you walk in, or you've seen the lessons, and you know what? You can just feel the air around you, right? How it's not inviting, whatever. But you know what? Every time I've had an interaction with Bryan, I've been around him, and you know what? He's always seemed welcoming and nice. I mean, you can tell, hey, it's good old Tex. It's a good old Texas boy, right? But is he from Texas? Not from Texas, right? Here we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, there you go. He's back on. He's back on right here. Okay.
There
Coach,
we are.
Coach, all right, you're back on, Coach. Okay, so let's pick up right here. We were trying to fill the time.
Where we got cut off.
No, we're trying to fill the time. We're talking about how you're compared to maybe some of your other counterparts, where you carry yourself in a great way. You make it very inviting. And so, as I have another quote from another customer or a client or a parent of a client, I have one that I'm gonna read later. But you know what? It's just how you make everybody feel the same. You know it, whether it's
Right.
you know, the top of the line,
Professional,
Corn Ferry Tour, PGA, junior, startup, and you know what? So that's what we were talking about. You left off at how you were at PGA West and how you were making the way over. You know what? Making your way back.
And so anyway,
Colorado.
what ended up
Colorado. There you
we
go.
were in Colorado, and Harvey Penick was starting a golf academy that he and Golfsmith had partnered in Austin. And just coincidentally, we met the Golfsmith people because they were the sponsor of our AJGA tournament. They told us about it. And my assistant was a former UT tennis player who had worked for Harvey in the golf shop. And she said, Bryan, you ought to go down and try to get that job as director of instruction to start Harvey's golf schools. And I was like, they're not going to hire me to do that. And she goes, well, I'm going to reach out to Harvey, and at least you ought to go talk to him. Well, long story short, I was incredibly honored, and a turning point in my career. I got to start Harvey Penick's Golf Academy and was his original director of instruction in Austin, and ran the schools with Harvey for about 3 years before he passed away. And then that after he passed away, my last conversation with him, he made me promise after he passed that I would go out on my own. And just another coincidence, I ran into Buddy Cook
Buddy
at the PGA
Cook.
show. Buddy Cook at the PGA show in Orlando, and Buddy was just about to open a golf academy at La Cantera, and he reached out to me, you know, Buddy, blowing and going, walked by me and he goes, hey, you need to give me a call when you get back to Texas. And so I did, and I said, what's up, buddy? And I'd known him from when I was in the desert. He was at the Vintage Club when I was at PGA West. And he said, I want you to come down and talk to me. Well, my interview with him was to give him a golf lesson. And after I gave him a golf lesson, we went in and sat under the covered area there at the old Academy building down below the hill from the golf shop at La Cantera. And he said, you know, I know you paid attention to Mr. Penick. And I said, well, I appreciate that. And he goes, no, I really know you did. I said, well, why is that? And he said, because my dad sent me to take a lesson from him when I turned pro and I was trying to play for a living. And he said, you told me the same thing that he did. And he said, I probably won't listen to you either, but I know you were listening because you told me exactly the same thing. And Buddy actually hired me to start the Academy at La Cantera. Had a great great run there. Got to move over to Oak Hills. Was there for 14 years. Oak Hills
Wow.
was going through a
Okay.
renovation, and yeah, and then
That's a nice.
Cordillera.
That's a nice way of saying
Go
it.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Coach. I don't mean to cut you. That's a nice way of saying going through a renovation. That's a nice way of, of saying that.
Yeah. So
But okay, but
I ended up at Cordillera for a few years, and then had the opportunity. River Crossing built me an incredible building. I've got a great teaching center, really close to the house, and it's worked out great. I couldn't be happier, and I have the opportunity to now. Hunter, my son, who I saw the picture you sent over. Hunter is running all of our group programs for us, and then I also am just thrilled to death. He's one of the brightest minds in the game of golf as far as golf fitness, and that was a very special moment that you put up there. That's when Johnny got his card at French Lick this year, officially became a PGA Tour member, and Hunter and I were honored to be able to be there with him, and we've got some great things coming ahead. We're looking forward to the three of those guys. I've got three of the best young players in the world, and they're on top of it. They couldn't be better guys. And Johnny Kiefer, Mac Meisner, Mitchell Meisner, and I'm honored and thrilled to. I've been with those guys right at 40 years when you combine all of them. The amount of time I've spent with all of them. So it's great to have players that trust you, that are the greatest guys on planet Earth, but have an unbelievable amount of skill and toughness and just a passion for playing the game.
look at the. I'm hoping people are watching this show, and again, they can always go back and watch it. We're on YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes. But for those people that are just probably going to be listening to this show, these three guys grins, man. I mean, like, if there's any more space, if there's any more,
right?
I mean, man, from ear to ear, you can tell it's pure love, pure joy. I got goosebumps just looking at y'all's faces in it. You can tell there ain't nothing fake about this picture, fake about this joy, and like, I mean, man, Bryan, like, okay, so Brucey doesn't have kids. I have two daughters, and I'd say the most, my daughters are young. My oldest daughter, she had been with me since the third grade there at school, and she was my little manager, and she could do the book and the clock, and man, she knew how to draw the plays and everything. And I think that's kind of like the closest that we will come to maybe working hand in hand. How proud of it? How proud of you? How proud of your son and your team do you feel now, like, and just where y'all are at?
Well, I'm elated, and I've got another young man that I've taught since he was 9 years old, Braden Lips, who runs my location over in Sugar Land. I've got a second location, Sweetwater in Sugar Land, and he and Hunter are the same age. They were best friends. I started teaching both of them, when they were very, very young, and now he's doing great for me. He's running that over there, and I've learned so much, and I'm not just saying this. I told Hunter when he went on this fitness journey, it's always been his passion, and I was able to tell him that. I said, if you're going to do this and you want to be doing work with me, you got to be better than everybody else. And I can tell you, he's in Dallas right now at a recovery seminar for the weekend that he's just learning more. We do Electrons Plus. It's I wish I could even tell you more about it, but it's his specialty. But he's
savvy.
got his massage. He's gone to massage therapy school. He's level 3 TPI in 2 different areas. He does something called GOTA that we've really discovered some things, and I've learned a great deal about him that's helped me incredibly in my teaching about the ankle and the hip and the way we move pressure in the swing, and it's been game changing for my players. I mean, we've really, golf's hard, as you guys know. It's a really hard game to learn.
Very hard.
It's hard to get to an elite level, and what we've been able to do through Hunter and through my learning is we've been able to train to strengthen the movements that make us better at moving pressure in the game. And when we're talking about moving the backswing, you're moving to the front of the foot and rotating into the trail ankle, and then you move that pressure forward into the lead leg and the ball of the foot and turn the corner and release the club. It's just so important to know that your ankle's strong, that your hip's strong, that you're walking correctly. I told my guys when at French Lick, because that picture you showed the elation. There was another side of that story that I want to share, because Mitchell Meisner missed getting his PGA Tour card by 37 points, and that was one of the most incredibly crazy emotional swing days in my life, because I was devastated for Mitchell, but at the same point in time, it was unfair to Johnny not to celebrate the success of an unbelievable accomplishment. And for those of our listeners and viewers that don't know about these three guys, I mean, Mac Meisner's in his second year on the PGA Tour. He made a little over $1.7 million this year. Mac was second. There's a category on the PGA Tour that's a little hard to find, but it's called proximity to the hole from the fairway from all yardages combined, and it's from 75 to 100, 100 to 125, 125 to 150. It's 25-yard increments all the way up to 275 and above. In Mac's rookie year last year, he was second on the PGA Tour. Scotty was fourth. This year,
that's crazy. Just to be on that same list, right?
Mac hits more 4 and 5 irons to 3 feet than anybody I've ever seen in my life. He had a 7-hole stretch back in the tournament out in Utah, the Black Desert Classic out there. In a 7-hole stretch, he had a 520-yard par 4 that he hit it to 3 feet 3 inches, his second shot. He had a 219-yard par 3 and a 228-yard par 3. This in a 7-hole stretch. He hit the 219, he hit to 22 inches, and the 228, he hit to 17 inches. I mean, it's just unbelievable how well he hits the irons. He's one of the best iron players on planet Earth. And then Mitchell's had an incredible year. Mitchell was Player of the Year when he played the Latino America Tour back in 2022. Had a great year this year, had 7 top 10 finishes, and just didn't quite close it out at the end, but it's a great year. He's leaving to go to the finals of PGA Tour School. We still got another shot to get him out on the regular tour next year on the PGA Tour. But if he doesn't, he's fully exempt and going back to Korn Ferry Tour, and I worked with him Tuesday, Wednesday, today, and I'm seeing him again tomorrow morning before he leaves. And then the other guy we can't leave out, Johnny Kiefer, that picture you showed. Johnny has risen to 47th in the world golf rankings, official world golf rankings. Now, I had someone ask me this a couple of days ago. They said, well, you know, the official world rankings are kind of skewed. So I'm going to give you the why. If you've got a question why this young man's ranked 47th in the world, I'm going to run you through a quick stats, okay?
Run it. You seem like you love the numbers, Coach. You're a numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy. He's played 39 professional golf tournaments, okay? He's had 20 top 10 finishes.
Oh, my gosh.
51% from in top 10s, and that includes 2 majors. One was the PGA, which he had lost 15 pounds in Mexico the week before from being sick and had to withdraw from the tournament when he was 2 shots out of the lead on Saturday. Had to withdraw. He had lost 15 pounds, couldn't get well, came home, went straight to the PGA Championship the following week, missed the cut there, then made the cut in the U.S. Open at Oakmont, played incredibly there, the second round especially. And then last year, he was Player of the Year on the Americas Tour. He played 10 Americas Tour events. Guys, listen to this. First 10 professional golf tournaments. He had a 19th as his worst finish, and he had a win and 8 more top 6 finishes. He finished in the top 6 9 out of 10 events in Canada. Then got an exemption into his first PGA Tour event, which I think I officially retired as a caddy. I went out and caddied for him in the Pro Tour out in Napa, and I'll be darned if I didn't. If he'd have had a better caddy, he'd have probably won that one because we finished 13th out there.
You were holding him back. You were holding him back.
Yeah, and then recently, as you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, he finished 7th in the RSM Classic, and he drove it up against a lip on the last hole in a fairway bunker. Had to just wedge it out and didn't get it up and down from 150 yards. Almost made the putt, but finished 7th in his 4th PGA Tour start. So he's had a 7th and a 13th in those PGA Tour starts. He had 2 wins on the Korn Ferry Tour this year. Tons of top 10s, and he's the first player since a guy named Scheffler to win Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year on the Korn Ferry Tour in their first year, obviously. So,
that is awesome.
This young man's got.
That's awesome.
You're building him up a lot. You're saying a lot of stuff, Coach. You're comparing a lot of numbers here. And Brucey,
the numbers don't lie.
There you go, Brucey. Tell us, Brucey.
Sweating it out a little bit. This week. So this week we've got the Nedbank going on. We've got the Hero Championship. We've got the Australian Open. If he stays inside or stays top 50 or better in the world after this week, there's a little tournament they have down in Georgia in April.
Get those pimento cheese sandwiches and that peach ice cream sandwiches ready, right? Brucey, tell us about the numbers. Brucey, tell us about the numbers.
So Coach, we have a little saying that says men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie.
They do not lie.
Coach, you know what? So Johnny Kiefer, right, back in the day, right? I'm gonna tell you a little story about him. So it was during during COVID, right? You know, we're out there at TPC, and he's trying to raising money, right? I guess, you know, they're doing some fundraiser, right? It's not Beat the Pro, it's, you know, because he's in college, right? I think he's in college at the time. And
right,
you know, they're doing some little. He's you know what? Can we get it inside his ball, right? Or he hits your shot for you, right? We're on 16 there at Canyons course, Brucey. It's got that big dip down there, you know, Canyons, right? 16. Yeah. You know, you said you hit it down there at the bottom, right, Brucey? You said you hit it down there at the bottom, right?
Exactly.
So we're playing. And we shank ours, right? We shank ours bat, and he goes, I guess you want to pay the $20 to let me hit it, right? And we're like, okay, you know what? He tells us his name, and you know what? He hits it, and he hits it to about two and a half feet, right? Like just sticks it. And then I said, what was your name again? And, you know, everybody in the group says, all right, we're gonna remember you. I mean, this is Coach. This is during COVID. Like, this is COVID. You know, this is COVID. This is 2019, 18. I mean, this is 6 years. This is 6 years ago. This is 6 years ago. And you know what? Like, I mean, so when I hear him coming up, I said, man, I think that's the kid who hit that shot for us on 16. And not surprised, right? Not surprised. So we talk about a kid like Johnny Kiefer, that's well known now. Has there been any times throughout your coaching career that you've had a kid that maybe didn't get the same kind of, you know, acclimates and the awards that you're just like, man, like if things maybe went a little different for them, they would be on a similar stage?
Oh, very much so. You know, one thing that happened, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's an NBC sports commentator now, Noda Begay. And Noda was my first guy to really make it big out there. And I started working with Noda in 1997, right after he finished at Stanford. And it was really funny. You know, the end of 2000, when he got hurt, he had no status on any tour. He had been struggling with his game. We changed a few things.
Why does this always do? Oh, he's back. Okay, go for it.
Had somebody trying to call. I hope I didn't mess us up there.
No, you're good. You're back.
But,
I was like, man, this is a great story. We love Noda Begay.
So what happened with Noda? Noda quickly, he he got his PGA Tour card by finishing second on the Korn Ferry Tour, which it was then called the Nike Tour, 4 times that year. Did not win, but then over the course of about the next 17 months in '99 and 2000, Noda won more times worldwide than anyone except Tiger Woods. It happened to be a time when Tiger was playing some really good golf, but Noda won 4 times. I've got a real special thing over on the wall over here. I have my instructor badges from 2000. And hang on just a second. I'll show you guys this. This is kind of fun. We can hold this one up.
Dude, Brucey, you did say
stories he
I
has.
know,
Right, bro?
but I'm like, Noda Begay, and I'm gonna ask him right now about La Cantera. Okay, go for it, Coach. We're whispering over here. We're whispering over here.
So here we go. Let me get it in the right spot here where you guys can see it. Augusta National here. Pebble Beach. St. Andrews.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I got to tell you a story about Valhalla, okay? This is Valhalla, and then this one is the President's Cup, okay? And I've got 2 stories there real quick, okay? I've got a lot of really cool stuff in my game room and in my bay. I always ask people all the time. I said, I've had some amazing things happen to me. I've had the privilege of having played golf and had dinner with 7 people total, and it was President and Betty Ford.
Oh man.
President Ford and Betty Ford. I got to play golf with President Ford out at PGA West. But when people ask me, what's your favorite thing in my game room up here, I'll ask them, I say, try to guess, try to figure it out. Well, it's those 5 badges. And the reason why was at Valhalla, I said I'd tell you a story. On Tuesday, we're on the range at Valhalla, and Ken Venturi was the captain that year. And Tiger was lobbying for Noda to be on the team because obviously they were teammates at Stanford, great friends. We played practice rounds with him almost always in '99 and 2000, 2001, even after Noda got hurt. And Ken Venturi walked over to the range. Noda was hitting balls, and he asked Noda to come back to the back of the practice tee there. And I could tell when he came back that, something wasn't right. And I said, "You okay?" And he kind of looked at me for a minute, and he nodded, shook his head, and he goes, "Yeah." And he always calls me B. And he goes, "B, we got to get it done. Captain told me he's not going to pick me. I've got to qualify." Well,
shoot.
That year, he'd gone to Augusta, finished 38th at Augusta. That was his second major. He'd played in the '99 U.S. Open that Payne Stewart won at Pinehurst. He then got that was his third major because he'd also played the PGA Championship. I'd forgotten about that at Atlanta Athletic Club. And then, so in 2000, that was in '99. In 2000, we're at Valhalla, and he had finished 38th at Augusta, 22nd after shooting 77 at Pebble in the U.S. Open in the first round. Played great in the wind on the second day, shot 70 and moved up every day. Won the next 2 weeks after that. He finished 22nd in the U.S. Open, then won the next 2 weeks.
Shoot.
Then finished 18th at the British Open at St. Andrews after having finished second in the Scottish Open in a playoff to Colin Montgomery before. And then, long story short, now the only way he could get enough points was he had the top 10 in a major at Valhalla. And I can tell you about a special walk up a big hill behind the 18th green. Noda birdied 17 and 18 on Sunday to finish 8th to make the President's Cup team.
Damn.
Let's go.
So, and then he and Tiger beat VJ and Ernie twice in the President's Cup at Robert Trent Jones Club up in Virginia. And then he beat Retief Goosen in the singles. And then you ask what happened. The trajectory he was on was insane. I mean, it was incredible. And he tore 2 discs. And why I've become such a fitness freak about how we move, how we train. He tore 2 discs in the off season, trying to get stronger working with a trainer with a weight belt on doing a deadlift. Okay. And it literally ended his career.
It's the little things
And-
that get you, right?
Damn.
Yeah,
And you know what? That I can see. So you say that, right? You took us to a place right there, and you know what, Brucey?
Yeah.
We
Took us way back.
We're on the show because we love life, we love golf, and you know what? I've been a coach for 22 years, and so you say things like that, and obviously it's shaped you, like, and I'm sure, and Nota Begay, you know what?
Much so.
Being in the media game, you know what? I've met him several times at Valero. One of the nicest guys ever, right? And you know what? Like, people are always chanting him, always, hey, Noah. You know what? He always gives back to the people. Like, you know what? He's not one of those media guys that's smug, that's a jerk. And you know what? I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that, but it seems like it's influenced your instruction, man. Like, I mean, for 40 years.
Well, and the thing with him, you know, that I'm proud to say, I consider Noda one of my very best friends. We get together all the time. I still work with him. He still plays a handful of the senior tour events now, because where it really affected him, and the sad part was, it didn't affect his golf swing. He swings it great. He still swings it well. But he couldn't walk 4 consecutive days. His back would lock up when he tried to walk after the injury. So it wasn't the swinging the club. And the Champions Tour, you know, he's doing great. I always tease him. I said, hey, you got a good gig with NBC and you're really good at it. Don't forget that's a real nice thing you've got going there. Keep doing that. And play enough golf to enjoy it and stay relevant, and yet at the same point in time, he's doing a great job. And someone, if you ever get a chance to hear him speak, I'll tell you, he's one of the great guys. If you guys want sometime, I'll do my best to get him on the show with you guys.
We have it.
The only thing I might make you.
That's it. Hey, I wrote it down. It's right here. It's in ink.
All right.
Coach. Okay, so right here, and again, you know what? As we move on right here, I got some questions right here, Coach. You're saying such good stuff. I'm like, man, I was like, we haven't hit any of my points right there, Coach, but we appreciate it. And you know what? Right now, this is a threesome. We're in the cart. We're in a 3-seater right now on the course, and you're taking us through. You're taking us through the course of your life and your game, and man, we're loving it, right? So, before we move on right there, Noda also does a lot of great things for Native Americans and young Native Americans. You know, being Native American himself, and so he doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. And so he's one of those individuals in the game of golf that I always root for, right? That I always root for, because he's one of those good guys in the game. Coach, I want you to kind of tell us, you are on just an amazing part of an amazing crew at Lock and Terror, right? All right. So Buddy Cook. Okay, before we get there, I'm like, Coach, I got a lot of stories, right?
Paint the picture, Andy.
I got to meet Buddy Cook in person a couple of years back out at Briggs, and I was helping the Texas Golf Hall of Fame, and man, his best stuff was off the record. He kept saying, "Hey, off the record, off the record," and I'm looking at the gentleman, you know, who does all the filming and recording for him, Scott Wilson. I'm looking at him and I said, "Man," I said, Buddy's best stuff is off the record. This is so annoying." And he goes, "Everybody's best stuff is always off the record." and so he was. That's where and Buddy, like you said, right? He's sharp. He doesn't forget anything, right? Still in his elder years. So I told him I was going to give him a call about having him on the show. Well, shoot, he calls me like a week later. "Hey, Andrew, you mentioned something about being on your show," and I'm just like, "Oh man, like, I mean, and we haven't made it work, but he's such a great guy, and he spoke about having the idea of creating Lock and Terra, what the monster and the beast it is today. I mean, as a whole living area, you know what? 1 of 2 courses are still there. The shopping center, right? The apartments, everything. That was his like vision, and it's just you were part of an amazing crew of golf instructors that worked there at Lock and Terra. I want you to kind of just speak on that time. You had Mary Carricker, you know, in the office. You had Joe Caruso. I mean, like, gosh, like, y'all had a who's who of just like golf instruction out there.
It was awesome. Mike Vardaman, who is still out there, Mike was with us. Mary's daughter, Holly, actually taught with us for a little while. It was an amazing run. And I'll tell you, Mary and I came up with an idea that really, well, I want to backtrack a little bit. R.C. Buford has been a dear, dear friend of mine for 33 years. I met R.C. when I was in Aspen, Colorado, running the foundation up there. And R.C. was instrumental in helping me get started in San Antonio. He and a gentleman named Pat McMahon that is a member that I still teach out at he's from the Dominion. But R.C., a lot of the Spurs played basketball then. So he brought Hank Egan out. R.C. came out. Sean Elliott, David Robinson, Vinny Del Negro, Will Perdue, Brad Lohaus, Doc Rivers, Terry Porter. I know I'm forgetting some, but I mean, that's off the top of my head. And so they were all just golf maniacs. They all loved to play, okay? So we started this deal for the majors. We'd have a draft for the major championships every year for the golf tournaments. Well, those guys all started coming to it, and people would call Mary and go, how do I get invited to y'all's draft? And we're kind of like, it's kind of a private deal, But those guys were always hanging the best around. Ones. I mean, exactly, the off-the-record ones, right?
Yeah.
But, it was just an amazing time, and we had, of course, that was during the Spurs' heyday. During the late 90s, and I'll tell you about one incredible round of golf. So Doc and I got to be really good friends, played a whole lot. Sean as well, Vinny Del Negro. We all became really good friends. Doc calls me back in I guess it was either 99 or 2002. No, it was 99. And he goes, hey, Bryan, I know how busy you are, but there's somebody would love to play at La Cantera tomorrow if you could play. He said he's kind of shy about his game, and he'd love to play with somebody, but not just one person, not anybody else. And I said, Doc, God, I'm packed. I said, who is it? And he goes, well, it's Charles.
Ooh, Charles Barkley.
No.
Charles Barkley. So I called Mary and I said, you got to clear my book tomorrow. I'm playing golf with Charles Barkley tomorrow.
That's my favorite basketball player. That's my favorite basketball player. Like, I don't know, did somebody text you to hey, that's my right, Brucey? That's my favorite basketball player.
Yeah, we just talked about that. About that.
An incredible day. Such a brilliant guy. And I was trying to think, guys, how am I going to word this when we get done? Because I was trying to just say, Charles, I told him, I said, I really enjoyed the day. I said, it's so great to get there. Because, guys, you spend 18 holes in a golf cart with another person, just the two of you.
You learn a lot.
You get to know them pretty well. You learn a lot. And we were playing behind some people, and I'm sure they were slow playing when they figured out who it was, trying to get closer to him. But anyway, long story short, afterwards, I said, Charles, I don't know how to word this any other way. I'm just going to say it the way I don't know how else to. I said, you come across so much differently in person than you do on the air. And he kind of cut those eyes and gave me that grin that he's so famous for. And he goes, Bryan, they pay me a ridiculous amount of money to act like that on the
air. Right.
I mean,
exactly. But it was such an incredible.
I love to hear. I love to hear that, right? And I love to hear that. And it's La Cantera. It's a great place. And you know what? Gosh, I got to read some comments right here. Thank you everybody for commenting on the show right here. So I'm going to put up some comments right here. JP Sullivan, love to see this content. Very entertaining, fellas. Right here. Nick Mendez. Mr. Gathright, hope you have been well. Good to see you. Nick Mendez, he played, he had a hell of a golf coach.
Nick very well.
I'm sure. Nick is a hell of a golfer. A great dude. Right here, look. Jeremiah Sierra. He needs to start charging Paul Sharp. He's sneaking in lessons by watching him teach other students.
Hey, when I read it, It reminded me of that show
I know
where the
who
guy's
that is.
watching.
You know, it's like and same thing. I was texting Paul this morning, and he goes and he says, I'm learning a lot from him, watching him and Hunter teach Jackson. You know, and I'm like, hey, bro. I was like, in the business we call that a twofer. It's a 2-for-1, right? 2-for-1 right there.
Yes, the camera right here, right? Just recording.
Right here, Kristen Tarver, legend he is, right there.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Brian Dishner, love Tri-County Golf Course in Teague. We have an annual golf trip up there.
Absolutely. It's now 18 holes. It's grown. I'm so proud. And honestly, some dear friends of mine actually bought it and saved it. It was actually going to be closed, and they bought it. Steve Baird, who played football, he passed away a few years ago, but he married one of my best friend Maida's. I played golf with her brother, and her older brother was actually my little league baseball coach. But Steve and Maida bought it, saved the club, turned it into an 18-hole golf course. It's thriving, and I can't tell them how much every time I go up there I appreciate it, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it hadn't been for that place and the opportunity to grow up. Yeah, a lot of people look at growing up in a small town playing on a 9-hole golf course as a disadvantage. Well, I can tell you it was a great advantage in my world, because there weren't a lot of kids playing, so we got to play golf with adults, and they taught us how to act on the golf course. They taught us how to communicate, and Dale and I went up. I can't not mention two more people. Joe Whitaker, who we unfortunately he passed away just recently, and Dale Morgan and I went up to his service in Teague a few weeks ago. And Joe took the time. Dale and I talked about it with his wife and his son and daughter, who we grew up with, and just said, he took the time to invest in us. And because of people like that, I really know now, having done this for so many years, guys, that's why I have the feeling of wanting the relationship with my players, because Joe was willing to do that. He traveled in the motorhome with my parents and I. We'd go play tournaments when I was an amateur, and we'd play partnership tournaments. And he was an amateur golfer at that time. He later became a professional, got his PGA status, and is just an incredible man, and very successful, and invested in us. And then there's a gentleman I talked to on the way home today, Coach Harold Hearn, who, you guys don't know this, but I played 2 years of JUCO football for a legend, and a gentleman named Harold Hearn, who retired and lives here in San Antonio, had a collapsed lung a few weeks ago, had surgery. I tell him I love him every time I talk to him on the phone, and I'll make sure he listens to this. And I learned how to communicate with people. And the one thing I learned, guys, that I think is so important as a coach, you don't have to treat everybody the exact same. You got to think of them and care about them the same, but some of them need to be patted on the back, and some of them need their butt kicked occasionally. And you got to be willing to read the room and do what you need to do at the right time. And
well said,
he taught me how important that was. And you guys, knowing what you do in your world, you know how important that is. And I truly love him. And if I had to, narrow it down to the two biggest influences in my life, in terms of coaching, it definitely Harvey Penick, from the golf instruction and the passion for his players, because Harvey taught everyone so much more about life, and me included, even than I learned about golf instruction. And Coach Hearn taught me how to be a coach, and I love both of those men, and I can't tell you, I don't know what the hell I'd ever did to be blessed enough to give the opportunity to encounter both of them, but I'm thankful I had that privilege, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys tonight if I hadn't.
That's awesome,
man. That's freaking beautiful, Coach. Like, I listed, about your mentors, and you've answered all the questions. Like, bro, I don't even have to ask. I
know, right? Like, that's what I was saying. I was like, ask any questions.
I'm telling you, all the videos. I mean, they were right. They were true. They weren't AI. They weren't AI generated. And Coach, and we love to hear that, Coach, because we've had several. I had Coach Brent McQuiston on the show. From Alamo Heights, I had Coach Poppy on the show. Summer Batista, from UTSA.
Right.
Coach K, Coach Canard when he was at UTSA. Thomas, from UIW, and
right. Thomas, a former pupil of mine as well.
No, man, see, like we're not surprised. We're not surprised who their mentors are, right? We're not surprised because it's all got to come from somewhere. And I love to hear that all these coaches say the same thing. It's about the relationships, and it's about coaching. Loving hard, being tough, giving the kid what they need, and every kid's different, especially in today's society. And it seems like you've adapted with the times, right? You've adapted with the times. Brucey says it's not. Or one of my other coaches said this. It's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes, right? And
100% agree. I absolutely love that.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm just I'm thankful to have you on the show because. Every good coach or every great coach, they do the same thing. They build the relationships, and it's not about golf. It's about life. Cameron said it right here, and I got this great quote right here from Paul Sharp. Paul Sharp, you coach his son, and Hunter works with Jackson as well. Bryan honestly cares about every student he teaches, regardless of ability or frequency of lessons. He is a better kid because he is a Gathright golfer. And
wow.
And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm gonna trademark that line first. All right, so you can pay me royalties every time you use that one, right? He said Gathright golf has made an impact on him, obviously on the course, but off the course as well.
Wow, you guys are amazing. That's and I want to tell Cam and Paul that means more than they could ever possibly imagine for them to take the time to do that, and I genuinely, sincerely appreciate that.
Coach, Brucey, do you have any questions for Coach as we kind of wrap up here?
No, again, I'm learning a lot about him today. Like I said, when I read his profile on Google and I Googled him, because like I said, I heard the name, I just didn't really know who he was, and like his accolades and how you said his pupils and everything was just like it looked like a Kmart receipt, like a Target receipt, just how long it was, right?
A CBS, it's a CBS receipt, a CBS.
Yeah, but Coach, like I said, whenever you had lost service and Andy and I were on, and you were talking about how like Cameron left you like a nice message, and like I was just saying like, man, like that's what we as students see in coaches, right? And like I was using the reference as my mom. My mom always told me like, there's nothing I can buy her, nothing I can do for her that's gonna buy her love for me. It's other people talking about me, that the job she's done, teaching me, growing me. So as you as a coach, it's like when you hear these things, it's like the legacy that you're leaving, right? Because when you're gone, you can't take anything with you, but you're gonna leave all this behind you, right? So your name's gonna be talked about for years and years and years to come. And it's people like Cameron and Mac and all them. And it's just like I was hearing you today, and I was just like, now I know who this guy is. Like everything that everybody has said, like I can honestly vouch that it is true. And I just learned a lot today. I don't have any questions for you, but my comments were just like, today was just going down memory lane, knowing all this stuff about you. It just, Coach, thank you for being on, and I'm 100% honored to have you and just growing the game of golf.
Well, you guys are very special to do what you do and to take the time, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And we'll have to do the off the record one sometime. I've got some pretty good stories.
I'm telling you. Hey,
it's
the best stuff right here. I got a couple more comments right here, Coach. Before we hop off right here, Paul Sharp, golf royalty, and his son Hunter is pretty darn amazing as well. Right here, also one more for Paul Sharp. You have to experience Coach to understand how special he is. So happy we have the privilege to know him. And again, you know what? Nick Mendez right here. Paul Sharp perfectly said right there.
Well, you guys are. I'll have to start sending out some flowers or thank you cards or something to all these things. This is pretty impressive. But, a serious note, it's an honor to have, to have the privilege to impact young people's lives, and that's why you guys got into coaching. It's why I got into coaching. It's just such an important thing, and in today's world, I call it kind of the fast food generation. Everybody wants their burger, they want it hot, and they want it now.
Yep.
And
Microwave, not the
at the
oven.
same point in time, yeah, exactly. And we've got a game that nothing comes easy, nothing comes quick, and sometimes the best lessons are the hardest ones to learn, and you learn a lot more. A lot of times you learn a lot more failing than you do succeeding. It's easy when it's all good, but it's a really hard game when it's not. And I want to say something this year. I'm really proud of Mac Meisner. Something he accomplished. I think some really special things ahead for Mitchell as well, and wish him luck next week. But Mac went into the last two tournaments of the year in 159th place on the FedEx Cup list. And he knew his back was up against the wall. I'd flown up to Louisville. We had dinner. We talked for a long, long time that, hey, you're too good. It doesn't matter if you have to go back to the Corn Ferry Tour. You're going to be right back out here, but this year isn't over. Your game's trending in the right area. And I told him something at that point in time. I said, Mac, I said, your game's coming. You got to be ready emotionally and mentally. When it opens that window, you got to barrel through it. And he finished 14th at 3M. I went over to Minneapolis. I was actually in Chicago and for the Corn Ferry Tour event, and then flew to Minneapolis to watch him play over in the 3M. And Johnny won, and Mitchell finished, I think, 5th. And then Mac finished 14th there, and then he went to the Wyndham the next week and had to finish outright second. And Cameron Young had a very special week at the Wyndham, or Mac Meisner would have his first PGA Tour win. And he finished second outright, secured his card, went on, moved up the list, had a great end to the season. And we've been working the last 3 days, and he's working his tail off. And we'll be ready when the year comes around, and excited to see a lot of special things out of all three of those guys. And I'm honored to be on. I'm more honored than you can imagine to have the wonderful comments that you guys dug out, and to have the very special, not only the special players that I have to work with, but more importantly, the human beings that they are. I couldn't be more proud and couldn't be more honored, and thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.
No, Coach, I think you don't have to thank us. We thank you for everything you do and pouring into your kids. And Brucey, to piggyback off what Brucey said, it's like, you know what? I always tell this, right? Like, and I'm sure as you've done it in moving around clubs, right? I was in a job interview about 10 years ago, and they said, "What type of coach are you? Like, if I went into the gym, what type of coach would I see?" And I said, "Well, ma'am, you might not like me." I said, I'm a short guy. That's why I like my dog Mac. I met him at Ben's shop, rooted for him. Oh, well, I didn't root for him when he was at Rice, because you know what, UTSA, they were in the same. I rooted against him a lot, right? But real nice guy, real good young man. Always root for him, and as we were, as I see these little guys, right? I see these little guys, and you always try to pull whatever you can from your guys, right? And that football coach kind of comes out. You get it out at times, right? Right, Brucey? Can you hear it? You can hear it in the way you talk, and the way you pour into your kids. And I heard it from Coach from Brent as well. He played at Odessa Permian. And he's like, sometimes you gotta grab their face mask. Every now and then. Yeah. And one question I have for you, Coach, is as we finish out here is who are you playing your final round of golf with?
Oh, wow.
I love this question.
Wow. That would be, I would absolutely have my son in it, because that's for sure. I'd love to I've got 3 granddaughters now. I'd love to have all 3 of them in there. And then it'd be a huge, it wouldn't be a foursome, it'd be a gangsome. I'd love to have all the special players I've worked with throughout the years. Wow,
Priceless. Yep.
that would be that'd be a good one.
Hey, it's like, man, you know what? Next time on the Nothing Is OB South Texas podcast, you gotta have tissues out here. You gotta have the gotta have the tissues.
I'm telling you. Andy likes to cut. Andy likes to kind of go in there.
We're cutting onions out here. We're cutting onions over here, right?
Yeah.
I've got to. I'm making definitely making some onion stew over here.
So back to my point too is that you're not going to learn a lot, but it's like, you know what, I'm a little dog, I'm a little guy, you know what, so people, it's like I'm a yapper, I'm a talker, I'm up, I'm aggressive, I love to be in the game. I was the last guy picked for every team. I rode the bench. My teammates were my brothers, an only child. Brucey's my brother. You know what? It's like,
yes,
if you're my friend, you're my family. And so it's like you're not going to see what type of coach I am just by watching me, because you're probably not going to like me. But you're going to see what type of coach I am by watching my players, by how they carry themselves. You know what? Do they say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am? Are they respectful to authorities? Are they respectful to the officials? Can they play the game with integrity? Can through hard times, can they just grind it out? Can they keep their composure? Can they find a way? Can they be humble in victory? Humble in defeat, gracious in victory. You know, and so I think, Coach, you're leaving your mark with how your players carry themselves. And I think, like Brucey said, we know what we've known about you by how your players represent themselves. And tonight was just the check mark, the stamp that everything was true. Approval. Everything was true. That's it, right? That's it, Coach.
Guys, thank y'all. And one thing, if you'll send me Bruce's contact info and everything, and I'd love, seriously, I want you guys to come out and we'll have lunch and just share some fun stories. How about that?
All right, Coach.
That'd be awesome.
Just give me your employee number and I'll do it without you. Put it on account number.
Tell them to put it on mine. I don't even know it. They just put it on mine.
Hey, Brucey. Hey, again, you heard it. You heard it. You heard it right here.
Yep. I already jotted down that he's gonna get Noda, and then he's gonna give us his account number.
Hey, Coach, man,
I will be happy to do that for sure.
Coach, we so appreciate you. Man, we wish you nothing but the best for you and your students. And like Paul Sharp said, it's a privilege to be a Gathright golfer, and man, we wish you nothing but the best as you wrap up this year. And you know what? You got a great little setup out there. I'm sure you're not too cold out there working out there at River Crossing.
I had all 3 heaters working today. Believe me, I started at 6 a.m. this morning, and my last story I'll share with you real quick. I have a young lady who I'm extremely proud of, Julia Hansen. She started coming to me when I moved to River Crossing about 3 years ago. Was very small, didn't hit it very far, worked harder than anybody I've ever seen. And last year, she came every week at 7 a.m. before school because she knew she had to get better. And she just signed with Washington and Lee. She's going to play college golf at Washington and Lee next year. But last year she goes to TMI, and last year she had first period study hall. But she likes to come before school so she can have the afternoon to practice, so it's not wasting a day. So she asked me before the school season starts, she goes, I can't start at 7 because I don't have first period study hall anymore, and I can't miss my first period class. And she looked at me and she said, would you ever consider starting at 6?
Wow.
And I looked at her and I said, Julia, if you're willing to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to tell you I love it, but I'll dang sure be there and I won't be late. And she's there every week at 6 a.m.
Talk about
getting after it. Exactly. And what kind of coach would I be if I told that kid no, that I wasn't willing to get up an hour earlier when she is? And I can guarantee you it's harder for her than it is me.
No lie.
Oh man, thank you so much, guys. guys, we've had a gem on the show tonight. One of the GOATs in the game of golf instruction. A great instructor, a better person, a better human being. That's Bryan Gathright. You can hit him up. He's online. He's out of River Crossing. One of the best people, Gathright Golf. Hey, Coach, we so appreciate you, and we're gonna take you up. We are those people. We keep receipts.
Yeah,
right?
you hold them. You hold them.
Happy to do it, guys, and do send me that from Cam and Paul both, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll make sure to send you after we wrap up tonight, Coach. Hey, Coach, you have a great night, and like I said, man, finish this year out strong, and we so appreciate you. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, have a good evening,
bro. Good choice, bro.
What did I tell you? But haven't I told you? Haven't I said? I said for the longest time I've wanted him, but you know what? Hey, I always tell the kids this. I said, hey, guys, just like Drake said, it's God's plan.
Yep. Hey, bro, but seriously, bro, dude, like what I've learned from this, bro, and like what you've taught me, bro, is because again, I'm new to San Antonio, right? So I don't know a lot of San Antonio history. So with the game of golf, like you're introducing me to like again, dude, more coaches, the people in the game of golf that I had no idea about, and it's like it's opening like a whole new thing for me, bro, to learn about this, man, and learn who's big in golf here in San Antonio. Not only San Antonio, all around San Antonio, dude. So I appreciate that for you, from you. I just learned, guys, bro.
Well, guys, we're so thankful that you tuned in. I know, yes, and Paul Sharp. Paul Sharp told me, look, Paul Sharp right there. Told you, bro.
Yeah.
No, he told me. He said, oh, it's gonna be a great interview, and I'm like this. I hope so. He said, and Paul called it, bro. He did. He called it. Guys, I don't think we did it at the beginning of the show, but we are coming live, or we went live this whole time from the Texas Chancla studios. Make sure you hit up our guy, Jesse Hernandez. He is that lawyer, the TikTok lawyer, going for the three-peat, best of the best lawyers, SA Current. If you have any legal problems, DWI, any family law, accidents, I mean, this guy is the man. He'll fight for you.
And he dresses sharp, too,
he dresses sharp. He dresses sharp, and you know what? He's a golfer. He's a hat golfer. He loves the game. I mean, he's like, oh, I'm going to court over here. Hey, my clubs are coming with me. And
clubs will travel.
And he said it the other day. He said why he does what he does, and I loved his little story. You know what because he stated that his mom wasn't proud of him being a criminal defense attorney, right? Yep. Something of that nature, right? I don't want to say word for word, but he told his mom. He said, "Mom, I fight for those people that can't fight for themselves, and that's why I do what I do." And I'm just like, I was like, whoa, that hit deep, you know it, because
but to love, to fight, and to protect, bro. Like,
and you know it, like we always talk about this, right, Brucey? I mean, this is a golf podcast, but we always talk about it. I think Coach hit on it. Yeah, Coach hit on it. You know, pin the tail on the donkey right there. It's about relationships. It's the golf. It's like FOREBROS tour. It's not the golf that brings us together. It's the golf that brought us together, but it's not what keeps us together, right? It's the relationships that we build, and I love hearing, like, man, like you can tell, like he said that. I said, Bryan, I'm gonna call you Coach if that's okay, and he said I would prefer it, because some people, they consider themselves like instructors and not coaches, right?
Yes,
exactly. And you know it, but you can tell, like, he's just. Cameron said it, bro. Cameron said it right there, that, you know what, that he felt like there's a void. You know, there's a void because she doesn't get to train with him anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he pours into his students. You can tell why he's so successful. Why, you know what, people want to be around him. And like, again, we're doing this, dude. Like, this is what the podcast does. Like, we made one more friend today. That's what we did.
Yeah,
you know.
But he nailed it to where, like, you want to like treat everybody the same, but in reality you can't.
You can't.
Everybody's different. Yeah, I'm different from you, so your relationship with somebody's gonna be different with me because I'm different. So I like that when he's a coach, like, you have to have that special relationship with them because they're different from the other. And so when you understand that, I know your coaching just becomes better because you have that better relationship with them. And so when he said that, I was like, bro, like I know he's good now, because other coaches say like, no, I treat them all the same, but you can't treat them all the same because they're not the same.
Well, Jeremiah Sierra, president of FOREBROS Tour, we were talking today about golf instructors, and you know what? I don't think when we talk about golf instructors all the time, is having a good relationship maybe one of the things you try to look for in a golf instructor? You know what? I don't know. You know what I mean? Is that one of the things that, right? Is that one of the is that one of the boxes you're trying to check? You're trying to improve your game.
Well, you want to have like
but okay, but you know what I'm saying. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, are you looking online? Are you looking online at a golf review? Oh, hey, have a good friendship with him. I was like, I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a golf instructor, right? But
you want him to reach.
What I'm saying is that I think the relationship is what allows him to get the most out of his students. Right. And I think too, as a player, like I always tell you this, Brucey, I said I don't think I'm a great X's and O's guy. Like I'm not but you know what? I think coaches were my daddies. You know what? They filled a big void for me. You know what? I see my coach whenever he comes back into town, and like, man, it's just like he's still coaching me. You know, he's still coaching me to this day.
Of course.
And congratulations to Coach De La Pena. He just got his 800th win in Texas high school basketball, bro. 800, bro.
Is he at Vets? Is that the one that's with Vets? You said?
Yeah.
SEC Vets.
And so, like I was telling one of the other assistants, I was telling one of the other assistants that I said, when Coach comes into town for the state championships or a basketball conference, whatever, we always go and we'll shoot the shit or whatever, and we'll go and hang out. And that time we got to go and I got to play with them a little bit at Mission Del Lago, right? And we're talking, and then my other high school coach that I played for my freshman year, that was his mentor. And I'm just like, that high school coach had over 600 wins. He's got over 800 wins, and I didn't know that was his mentor. And I'm like, now you know why. Like, I mean, these guys don't. It's just like it's like Gathright, what he said. You know what? He had these great mentors. He had. You know what? Harvey Pinnock, you know what? I mean, dude, Austin Country Club. Harvey Pinnock statue's in front of Brack, just in case you're wondering, just in case you don't know, like that's his statue there. And that's, you know what? It's the lineage, you know what? It's the mentor that you have, right? And like you said, Brucey, it's like this is the only thing that you will be remembered for. You know, we talked about it being at Nuno's funeral the other day. You're like, bro, it was. I hated being there. I hated being there. I'm not gonna lie. I hated being there. I love being there for Mike and the Ayala family and for Nuno. And it was beautiful to see so much love and so much support because, man, people were waiting. Like, that line was out the door. You know,
dude, it was packed, bro.
And there was a lot of people.
And I asked you that, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, you did ask me.
I mean, like, dude, like, I try to be good to everybody, bro. I really do, man. And that's my biggest thing is that, like, dude, like, I asked you the question, like, hey, dude, like, do you ever wonder who's going to show up for your services when you're gone? And it just shows it's a representation, dude, of who you were as a person. Like, dude, like, would they make an effort to go to your services, bro?
I worry about that. I do worry about that because, like I said, as being a coach, and I'm always, man, and now as an athletic director, like I'm always having to make tough calls, right? And people always think I'm being personal, and I'm just like, man, like I wish you could see your child and how I view your child through my eyes, right? Like,
right.
I just like I wish you were there in practice all the time to watch your kid screw around, right? I wish you were in there to like. I wish you were in there in the classroom to see your kid talk back to the teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I get it, bro. Like,
and I just so when I was at the previous school for 17 years. I never had the chance to meet our field at Blessed Sacrament was named Ross Myler Field, right? That's the name. And that was a longtime coach. That was one of my assistant coaches. That was his dad's coach. Like, he was there 30-something years. He lived across the street. All I've heard was nothing but stories about this guy, right? And I never got to meet him because he died, I think, 2 years before I got there. I got to meet his wife, right? His wife. Jerry
Oh, yeah.
Myler.
You told me the story. Yeah, I remember that.
She was in a wheelchair. She was, had to have the oxygen and stuff, everywhere she went. But you could just feel like, man, there was just, she had,
Something about it, right?
she was just, like when my wife got to meet her our first year there, it was at a gala, they were recognizing her. Her name was Jerry Myler. And man, like, it was whenever we, like, man, shook hands, so you just feel like she's got that love. She's got, man, there's just a glow. There's something that she has, right? Well, my godson, when Coach Myler died, my godson, Zach, Jerry Myler, his wife, gave Zach one of his tie holders, right? Like, or like a tie pin.
Tie
right?
pins?
Yeah, tie pin.
Tie pins, yeah.
And, and I'm just like, I said, I never got to meet the guy. I said, but I feel his love and I feel his presence, right? They said at his funeral, man, they said everything was just packed, right? Like, it was just standing room only. It was crazy. Everybody was there. He coached for 30 years, right? And he was a heck of a coach, heck of a man. Never had any kids, but all his kids were, the kids he coached.
Students, yeah.
I went to, a couple of years later, Coach Jerry Myler, she passed away, right? His wife passed away. I don't know if it was the rosary or what. There's only about 8 people there. And I don't know if it's just, and I'm looking around. I said, man, like, is this it? Like, is this it? And I worry, man. I worry about that. I do. It's a legacy. Yeah. It's a legacy we leave, right? It's a legacy we leave, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it was good times, man. You know what? We said we're only going to be on for a little bit tonight. At least you're getting to watch the game.
Yeah, but when it's not planned, it's even better, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I was thinking in my head the same thing too. I was like, bro. And then Paul just put Cowboys are getting smacked, and I was like, maybe it was meant to be for us to be on longer. Because I'd be pulling my hair, bro.
And right here, I got a great comment from our guy, Robert Vasquez, right here. Brucey, you are the bestest right there. Look, here. Oh, sorry, bro. I can't read it. It's too small. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. Hey Brucey. All right. So I think we did Nuno justice today, bro. What do you think? I think we did.
And I feel bad, bro, because I didn't wear Eagles, man.
No, I can't. Hey, you know what? I don't care. Nuno passed away. Hey, man, I'm still. Hey, screw the Eagles.
Cowboys
hey, sorry,
life,
bro. Okay, that's right, baby. Cowboys for life. But you know what? I think he only wanted it. He wouldn't want it any other way, right, bro? He wouldn't want any other way.
Stay true to yourself.
That's
bro.
it. That's it, bro.
Don't switch.
That's it. As we
Don't
close
change
out
for no one.
As we close out right there, Brucey. I think we've already, we've made Nuno proud. We dedicated this show to him, and I think, like I said, I think we did him justice, guys.
Yeah, bro.
We so appreciate your support, guys. Make sure, guys, hey man, share the show, click like, support us on all different types of social media networks. Thank you to FOREBROS Tour. Never golf alone again. We got the FOREBROS Tour Cup coming up.
Baby.
I'm excited, super
tomorrow.
excited. We're getting back into a flow. Once a week now that football season's over for me. Thanks to Texas Chancla, Jesse Hernandez, for being the studio sponsor. Brucey, that's golf.
Yes, sir. That's golf, bro. Let's do it.
That's golf, bro.